Hi and welcome to part 3 of the Django crash course. In this part we're going to create a new Django app for the blog and we're going to show posts here on the front page. We're also going to make it possible to add posts here in the back end. So first we can create a new Django app by going to the command line, stop the web server and say python manage.py start app and then the name, which will be blog. Great. And then we need to tell Django that this app exists, so we need to go into the installed apps. And then here at the bottom is a blog.apps.blog config. Config. And this, if you don't remember from the last time, blog is the name of the app, apps is this file, and then blog config is this, which points to this. So you can use blog here, for example, just like we do core, you can use that name here, so Django know where to find this. Great, so now we have the Django app, and now we're going to go into models.py in this folder to create our first Django model. And the Django model describes to the database what data we want to store. We can begin by creating a new class post, and then here we pass in models.model, so Django knows that we want to use this. And then here we can say title equals models.char field max length 255. So this is a field for storing the title of the post. We set this to a char field, which is what we use to store simple text. And we set the max length to 255. And then we want something called a slug equals models.slug field. This doesn't need a max length. A slug is an internet address for the title. So for example, here you can see the Bulma templates. Here you can see instead of saying getting started, you would see getting -started. So it's an address for the URL. And then I want a field called intro models.text field. This is for storing longer texts than this. And the intro is what I want to show on the blog, this little text here. So it's not the full body of the blog post. And then I want one field for body, models.text field. And this is the field I want to show when you go into the detail page of a blog. And I want one field for keeping track of when the blog was or the post was published. So created at equals models.date time field. And instead of filling out this manually in the admin interface, you can just say auto now add equals true. So when this is added in the database, this will be automatically filled in with now. So then we don't have to think more about that. So we can save this now and then go down to the command line and update the database. And to do that, we first say python manage.py make migrations. Okay, I have a typo in the settings file. This was supposed to be config. So then I can run this again, make migrations. And now it says here that it created this file where you want to create a model called post. And if I go into this file, which you have here, migrations, then here you will see what's going to happen in the database. So it's going to create a new table called post with the ID field, a title field, slug, intro, body, and similar. But nothing has happened in the database yet, because to do that we need to run python manage.py migrate. And this will actually execute the files in this folder. So when I hit enter now this has been applied and the database has been updated. So then the next step now is to just run the server again.
Before I continue, I just want to say thanks to my Patreons. If you too want to support me, you will find a link to my Patreon in the description below.
But if I go to the admin interface and update, nothing happens here yet, because you need to register the model with Django in case you don't want to show it in the admin interface. So if you open up blog/admin.py, we can import the model here from .models import post. Now we just say admin.site.register post and save. So if I now refresh here, you will see here we got this blog appearing here, which is the Django app and posts. We don't have any here, so we can try to create a few. This is the first post. And then we create a slug for this. This is the first post. This is the intro. And this is the body for the first post. Like that. So then I can save and add one more. Second post. Second post. Later in this series we're going to make this field to be automatically filled out, generated by this, but that comes later. The second intro, the second body, and save. So now I have 2 posts here in the database. Perfect. But if you go to the front page, it still doesn't show here, so we need to fix that. So we can go back to Visual Studio Code, and then we find the core/views.py. And if you wonder if you don't put this in the blog app, it's just that we have the front page in the core app, so I want to continue doing that here. But the detail page of a post will be inside of the blog page. Great. So now I want to get all of the apps from the backend. No, all of the blog posts, of course. So first I need to import it, just like we did here in the admin.py. From blog.models import post. And here I need to say blog.models because we are not in the same folder as the models file. But this admin file is in the same folder as the models.py file, so you can just say .models. But here in the other app we need to point to the app first and then the models file. And then in here I just say posts equals post.objects.all. So this will get all the posts from the database. And to make this available in the front end, I just copy this. And then I create a dictionary here. And save. So now we can use this variable inside the front page or index.html file. There. And we can use them here. So now I want to make it possible to show them here. And I want the posts to look like this one. So I need to go in here to the code and copy a little bit of this. So first I copy the section and the hero body and the container. Then I go into the code here, just remove this title. Then like that. Just remove this space. Go back and copy some more. I want this section. And the div class columns. And this one, which is the post itself. Like that. And then I can copy this whole thing. And then I just need to close all of these divs. And this outer section hero. And now I just want to save to see that it's working. So if I go to the front page, yes, now you see a blog post here. But this is not the one we added in the backend. So let's fix that. So for each of these posts you have in the backend, we want to create one of these columns. So inside here, you can actually do it in this one because you don't need another column, we just need another content for each post. So here we use something called a for loop from Django. So curly brace, percentage for post in posts, and this posts is the variable we added in the backend. So for each of these we want to loop through. Now we need to say end for to close the for loop. So for each post we add this to the template. Now we can show the title by just saying double curly brace post.title. So we can save now, refresh, you see that you get 2 posts and the titles are showing here. Nice. So you can change the date also and the introduction or the intro. So remove the contents of this paragraph and say post.intro. And then the date, which will be post.created at. Save. Refresh, and now we see a date here and the title and the introduction. Perfect. The date is not looking very good, so I want to change this a little bit. So to do that, you can use something called a template filter. And to apply a template filter, I can pipe this into date and then say colon, and in here I specify which format I want to use. So I want to use the m-d-y age:I. So it's the month, the day, the year, hour, and I for minute. So save now, refresh, and now we get a different format. So you can use whatever format you want to use. If it's a big M or capital M, refresh, you get the month and similar. So you can change this if you want. You can also remove the hour and minute because that's not always very necessary to have, like that. Or you can use another template filter called time since. Refresh, and then you get 6 minutes, 7 minutes. And if you then just append a go here, and then you see how many minutes ago we posted this. But the little problem we have now is that the second post is at the bottom, but the first post is at the top. So you need to switch this around. Django automatically orders things by the ID and in the ascending order. So you get the first one at the beginning. So you need to change this around. And to do that, you need to go into the models.py in the blog app. And there we add a new class inside this class, meta, colon. And then we just add a property called ordering equals, create a tuple, and then we say minus created at. So now I want to use the created at field. And we say minus because we want this in descending order, so we get the newest one first. And since this is now a tuple, we need to add a comma at the end there, like that. So if I now refresh, you'll see the second post first and the first post at the last. So that's the order we want to have this in. Perfect. And that was it for this part. In the next part, we're going to make it possible to click a post to see the detail view. And I'm also going to make it possible to add comments and a little bit of styling so we can learn how to include static files in our project. So see you in the next video.